Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother Wasilkamilbey. The title of this video is called Child Support Believers. I'm finna let you hear the things that come out these people's mouths, not mine, because I didn't say this shit. They said this shit. You know, this is called Child Support Believers. You know, just listen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Santorum. The American Bar Association appreciates the opportunity to present its views on child support enforcement. The ABA is a national organization composed of 360,000 attorneys. And unlike
360,000 attorneys. It wasn't that many attorneys back then. How many attorneys it is now?
The people you heard here this morning, several of us still do practice family law. I am chairman of the family law section of ABA. Let me digress from my printed remarks, as the chair has indicated will be part of the record, and say very simply what it is that we believe that should be supported in the area of interstate child support enforcement, and that which we believe should not be supported. We believe that...
Okay, you say his beliefs, the believers, should be.
The tremendous recommendations of the U.S. Commission on Interstate Child Support Enforcement should be followed very carefully. At the instance of the Family Law Section of ABA, the House of Delegates of the American Bar Association has endorsed the recommendations and proposals of the U.S. Commission on Interstate Child Support Enforcement. And they did so on a very strong position. We believe that the elements of the Commission's report deserve the attention of Congress and in order to get interstate child support enforcement working in this country. What we also believe very, very strongly, however, is that interstate child support enforcement, while it certainly needs a tremendous amount of work, does not need federalization.
Did you hear that? Continue.
Matter of fact, for many, many reasons, federalization would be contrary to the interests of those people who we represent.
He said interests. Go to our videos in the past where we post up. Interest, that's a banking term, right?
And when I say who we represent, make no mistake. And that is, we represent both the payors and the payees, the custodial parents and the non-custodial parents. We see both ends of that problem. And we believe it's that balance that we see that suggests why this would not be a particularly good idea for federalization. Let me suggest, however...
Did you hear what he said? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
First, that the key elements of the Interstate Commission's report that should be addressed immediately are the recommendation of the Commission that we ensure uniform laws and procedures in interstate cases by mandating that states and territories enact verbatim the Uniform Interstate Family Support Act, UIFSA, if we may, effective on a specific date. One of the most crucial changes within UIFSA is the elimination of multiple valid support orders. If a client has a support order in Ohio and it gets into the ERISA system, they very well might have an equally valid but smaller support order in Tennessee. That duality, that multiple system cannot work, and it never has. Instead, under UIFSA, if there's only one valid support order and there is vehicles for enforcing that order across state lines, we will have much more collectability of the proper amount of support. We too join in the recommendation that we amend the IRS W-4 form for reporting by new hires.
Did you hear that? Bingo! Boop, boop, boop.
Purposes of employment. We also would urge the recommendation of the Commission that requires employers to honor income withholding orders issued by any state or territory.
You hear that? to honor it.
If I have an order in Ohio against a man who is working in Ohio, but his employee,
He said a man. Did he say person? See, I'm gonna tell you something. Let me break this shit down to you. Y'all don't watch this. So let's be honest. This the channel that you neglect. And they say and they do what they want to because they know y'all don't like this boring shit. Right? Because I'm betting you $100 y'all can tell me who won the game last night, or if they had a game or whatever. Because somebody asked me, did you watch the game last night? No, I don't do that. Look what he's saying, man. Listen to this shit.
the only employee of his company in Ohio that otherwise lives in Pennsylvania, I should be able to enforce that order by simply placing that order against the Pennsylvania company.
So, he telling them, hey, if you don't give me such and such information, I'm going to penalize you, the employer, right? Strong arming. Yeah. It ain't long arm, it's strong arm.
Many companies will voluntarily comply with that, but we need some degree of enforcement so that interstate orders can be adopted quickly in the sister state and thereupon
He said adopted in the sister state.
The remainder of the recommendations that we went over are set forth in my printed remarks, but I would like to turn to the other question, and that is what should not be part of our system, and that is the federalization. Clearly, there's an active debate today on whether child
You heard what he said? Yeah, me too.
services would be improved by federalization, including the use of Internal Revenue Service, Social Security, federal courts. The ABA recommends federal legislation to improve the system, but it opposes the federalization. The major problems in child support arise from inability to locate obligors and their assets, ineffective enforcement against...
You hear that? And their assets. Man! Hey, this the greatest motherfucking channel on YouTube. Don't you agree? Huh? You hearing out the horse's goddamn mouth. His name is Marshall Wolf. He's a motherfucking wolf and he been eating you motherfucking sheeps up.
Self-employed and inadequate resources. Shifting the responsibility to IRS will not solve any of these problems. With respect to locating obligors, IRS only knows where somebody is once a year. That's not going to help in finding obligors.
Boom, boom. Hey, we got that remedy, baby. We got that loophole. Fuck with us.
The states are more likely to find them with the use of motor vehicle registrations,
You hear that?
licensing, and things of that nature.
Licensing?
Enforcement against self-employed, IRS does a great job against getting with the salaried people, but so do the states. That's not where we're running into problem. The states are doing a pretty good job of getting salaried people to pay child support. The problem is that according to IRS, an estimated...
Even across state lines?
I'm sorry?
Even across state lines?
Better than if they were not salaried. Certainly better than if they were not salaried. But if we're talking about this issue of a non-salaried person, a person who is self-employed, many of them don't ever file their tax returns. IRS...
We gonna leave it right there, my babies. Hey, you heard it from the horse's mouth. I ain't gotta say no more, right? This is the greatest motherfucking channel on YouTube. And you know what, fellas? We got a testimony tonight. So tune in around 11, probably midnight. Hey, we got a treat for you. We have a God. Another God has touched down. So, hit us up. You need help. If you don't, watch the videos, educate yourself. Hey, if you're mad at my prices, go start your own business, read a book. Hey, but you know what? It's going to take you years to know this shit. But hey, like I said, you get what you pay for. Peace.